a slightly less romantic location this time. Not Florida, not New York, not New Jersey. I think we're in contact with Swords. Is that correct, John?
That's right, Dan.
Sunny Swords by the sea, quite near Portmarnock. So, John Richardson, 20 times champion at Portmarnock Raceway, at least. He'll tell us in a minute. He's been associated with Mr. Brown, Must Fly, Rippling Skipper, For a Few Dollars More, Saunders Bianca, Kiki Colt, Meadowbranch DJ. John, it's embarrassing how many champions you've given.
Well, we've been lucky to have such good horses.
Well, they wouldn't put you, these guys wouldn't put you up, John, if they didn't trust you with the horses.
It's all about having good owners as well to have these horses.
Yeah, right enough. When you look down that list, there's some great people who own those horses and good sportsmen.
There's one horse you forgot there, Crown Manhattan.
Crown Manhattan, another top class horse. How's he doing as a stallion, John?
He's doing okay, yeah. I wouldn't say he gets, he wouldn't get a lot of miles, but he's doing okay.
Yeah. You enjoy driving him, yeah? You enjoy driving?
Yeah, yes, very much so.
Yeah. But tell me, John, just to give our American viewers a bit of background, how many lifetime wins would you have roughly, you think?
Well, they weren't very good at keeping records in Ireland here, say, long ago. But when I went to the European Driving Championships, they had me down for 1,300 and something wins that time.
Mm-hmm. You came to 13 anyway. You said 1,300, that sounds about right. Might even be more, John, you know.
Could be. That was a couple of years back.
Could be, okay. Well, as you know, thanks for giving us your time. The purpose of the whole exercise here is to say thank you to our American benefactors. As you know, probably better than me, we've got reduced price breedings to Cattle Wash, Testing Blue Chip, and Betting Line. Now, I'm going to come on to them in a minute, but tell me a bit, have you been to see racing in the States much?
Yeah, I've been to America a lot, yeah.
And when was your first trip?
The first time I went to America was in November of 1981.
Right.
There was a group of us went. I was only 15 at the time.
Mm-hmm. That's about 40 years ago, must say. And where did you take in on that trip?
Sorry?
Where did you take in? What sort of tracks did you go to see?
Oh, we were at Roosevelt, Liberty Bell. We went to Freehold. We toured around. We were at Stanley Dancer's farm one morning when he was training horses there just before he had shipped down to Florida. Right. We were at Vernon Dancer's farm.
Yeah.
And
Dancer's farm, Egyptian Acres?
Stanley was Egyptian Acres, yeah. Very, very nice place. Cleanest place I've ever seen in my life.
Really clean. Yeah. Tidy. They say Dancer was a cleanliness fanatic in his barn.
Yeah, it was unbelievably. It was absolutely spotless clean place. I seen him jogging at that time. He was jogging Dancer's Crown. He had just broken, and he showed us him jogging, and you know, you think he went undefeated as a 2-year-old, and he 2 starts as a 3-year-old, and then unfortunately died. He was favourite for the Hamiltonian that year.
That's right. Is that the year that he entered, I think, Duenna as a replacement?
He ended up winning with Duenna, yeah.
Yeah, Philly. Not many fillies win the Humboldt, John.
No. Well, the Ramona Hilda was the last one, wasn't she?
Well, I promised we wouldn't talk about yesteryear, and we're trying to keep this topical. But if you mention Vernon Dancer and Stanley Dancer, you'd have to mention the stallion Go On By, who came in here probably in the 70s or 80s. I think Dancer raced him, did he? Right?
Yes, it was Vernon Dancer's horse. He was, yeah. He came in the early 80s, did.
Right, yeah. Did he leave much of a stamp on the breed in Ireland? Go On By.
I don't think they're actually suited to our tracks. They were kind of more of a bigger track type of horse. Some of them, I had 1 or 2 decent ones going, but you know, he done okay.
So, well, we picked a good night to ring you, John, because there's a saying, money comes to money. And I believe you got a pleasant surprise tonight when you were watching on your iPad. I believe you had a runner tonight at what track in America?
Yeah, Gentleman Jimmy won at Chester tonight.
This is Harris Chester, I've heard it called.
Harris Chester, yeah.
1D clock tonight, John.
I think he won a 51 and 2.
And you had a famous guy driving him, I believe.
Yannick Gingras on the bike tonight.
Yeah, well, Yannick,
Super drive.
Yannick Gingras spoke to us for this project about a week ago, and next week Yannick Gingras will be going around the Midlands telling people, I drove last week for John Richardson. That's what he'd be saying.
I doubt that.
Well,
I would doubt that.
Well, congratulations. Is your horse breaking even in America, John? Is he making a profit over there, this horse?
Yeah, he's holding his own, yeah. He's doing okay, yeah. He pays his bills.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And he's named after an old horse of your father's, yes? That's
right. He had a horse before my time called Gentleman Jim.
Yeah, it's a lovely story. That's a lovely story. Well, just tell us, John, for this American project, tell us a bit about your own experience buying horses in the States. I believe you've got a mare in the barn who's by a real artist. Is that correct?
Well, she actually passed away. I did have her, artist control.
Right.
She had 2 foals. She had Gentleman Jim and Kick-Ass Katie.
All right, and you still got Kick-Ass Katie.
The funny thing is, I bought her in Harrisburg and I bought her from Fashion Farms. And about 2 years later, when I was away with Meadowbranch, we bought Kiki Colt from Fashion Farms, and both of them end up back in Ireland on the same farm, and that's the sword and dam of Gentleman Jim there tonight.
I couldn't make it up. Whereabouts is Fashion Farms?
Pennsylvania, I think.
So they were born in Pennsylvania and finished up in the same farm, probably near Ashburn.
The other way, other side of the world, yeah.
Some coincidence, you know. Well, tell me a bit about now we had a real pedigree expert on here last night, a man by the name of Eric Cherry. And Eric started talking about the maternal line of his great stallion, Heston Blue Chip. And in the middle of the conversation, he happened to drop the name of a mare called Kiki Katie. And seemingly, this is a very strong maternal family. Is it a strong family, John?
Well, it's kind of now be one of the best maternal family in the world, you say. Like, you know, a lot of people would have that opinion of it. Yeah. Super family, like it's the family of Kiki Colt as well.
Yeah. Well, some of our American viewers will not be familiar with Kiki Colt because he was unraced when he left America, isn't that right?
You know, he raced as a 2-year-old a couple of times, and he wasn't going to make a stakes horse there, so he was sold, and we bought him because the way he was bred, and we done very well, and everywhere we put him, we win.
Well, America's loss was Ireland's gain, wasn't it?
Correct.
Some horse. Tell just some of the races he won. Our American viewers will not be familiar with, but I know you're a very modest man, but ream off his resume. Tell us some of the races that Kiki Colt won.
He won the National Pacing Derby, Taylor Prince. That was the first time he won for us. He won a couple of 3-year-old races about, and then he won the Welsh Dragon. And I put him away then solely to win Aberystwyth the following year. He won a couple of heats here and there just to get him on the right mark, and he duly obliged in Aberystwyth. I then ran him in a Crock of Gold heat, and he won that. He won a free for all, and then I ran him in the Crock of Gold final, and he won that.
Fantastic.
And he unfortunately had a training accident as a 5-year-old.
He was a fantastic horse. But what I really like about him, John, is I think he improves the mares that he gets. Like he wouldn't have got maybe the most fantastic books of mares that some of these glamorous American stallions got, but boy, he can improve the mare, can't he?
Yes, I can't complain. He's kept Air Stable going for a few years, I know that.
Yeah, you've had a lot of fun with Meadowbranch Ash, is that right? No, was he Kicky? I don't think he was Kicky.
Meadowbranch Ash, yeah, very good horse.
And Meadowbranch Titan?
With Meadowbranch Ash, with Meadowbranch Millie, Meadowbranch Queen, Bath Lane, Kick-Ass Katie, she's got an attitude. Gavin's mare. Meadowbranch Titus.
I know you didn't train it, but
there's Blackwell Ruby. There's been a lot of good horses going.
Blackwell Ruby.
I'm just talking about the ones that I had.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of other people that good horses going as well. But Blackwell Ruby went to American. She's done very good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, what was your original target for Gentleman Jim when you realised he was good enough to go to the States? And you're lucky you've got one of your own products out there, Mr. Robbie Cleary, but one of your own pupils. But what was the target for a horse like him? Like to the uninitiated, a 5 or 6 year old gelding, okay, he's a top class horse in Ireland. What would you be aiming for taking a decent 5 or 6 year old gelding to the east coast of America?
Basically, what he's doing, just racing an overnight race. Like know, I spoke with Robert on the phone, and you know, we spoke about it, and we come up with a plan, and we sent the horse, and it's, you know, he's doing okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, let's be honest. He couldn't go any higher up the ladder in Ireland or Britain.
No, he was a good horse when he was here, like, you know. Well, he finished out by winning the Crock of Gold, like, you know. So.
But the point I'm making is that when you have a top class horse in Ireland or Britain, you can't really go much higher. Whereas in America, you can start all over again, can't you?
Yeah, well, you know, yeah, it can be a big fish in a small pond here, but over there, you're a very small fish in a very big pond.
Yeah, but then the rewards are greater, aren't they?
Yes, there's good money there for racing, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a credit to you, and I'm sure all our Irish people watching this tonight and British people, every time Gentleman Jim, Blackwell Ruby, Robin Camden, Oak within it to win it, there's dozens of them now, Porterstown Chris, every time these horses race in the States, we're all rooting for them, aren't we?
Yeah, I think Robin Camden's a fantastic little mare. She's really tough.
Everybody mentions this word tough about Robin Camden. She can kick some hardship, can't she?
She's tough mare, she is, yeah. She's a good filly.
Yeah. I think they hope to put her in foal and bring her home, is that right? Eventually.
I would say that would be the plan, yeah. I would think so.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll come up to the present day, John. The reason we're celebrating the American involvement this weekend is these Americans have been good enough to not us reduced price breedings to cattle wash, test and blue chip, and betting line. Now, you don't have to go into great detail because it's been thoroughly discussed by the Americans on these programs. But just tell us briefly what you make of it all and what you make of these three stallions.
Well, cattle wash is by some beach somewhere who was a game changer. You know, he's a young horse. He's still racing. He's actually in to go Saturday night. I seen him there today. Betting line, he's won the North American Cup. He's won the Jug. He's a young sire, and you know, he's everything in front of him. And Heston Blue Chip, I was always a fan of his racing. He's very, very well bred horse. I was always a big fan of him racing, and I have a mare in foal to him. And
coincidentally, Heston Blue Chip, then, as we said earlier, he comes from the same maternal family as
Kiki Coach, yeah.
You know what? You couldn't make it up, could you? You know, it's fantastic. But and so you backed your opinion. Well, tell our American viewers a bit about the caliber of mares that we have locally here and we sent to these good stallions. Tell us a bit about Kick-Ass Katie and She's Got an Attitude.
Kick-Ass Katie is she was a Sire Stakes winner at Cape Prince and that, and she won free for all. She won at Dundalk. She won most places about. She was a good tough mare, and She's Got an Attitude. Was very, very well bred. She won like Sire Stakes, Breeders' Crowns, Irish Sire Stakes. She also won at places like Dundalk and free for all. And she was a very good mare as well. We Meadowbranch. They have a mare called Abel Hanover. She has a betting line foul, and I think she's gone to Heston Blue Chip. She's out the same mare as Allywag Hanover, and she's by Some Beach. And they have a couple of her own homebred mares like Meadowbranch Lily and Meadowbranch Queen. And we have a mare called Disney Pan, and they've all been covered with all these horses.
Well, maybe you tell some of our American viewers about the matriarch out at Meadowbranch Stud in North Dublin, the famous Churchill Queen. Is she from Yankee bloodlines, John?
Yeah, she's a Matt Skittle mare. She came in a long time ago as a yearling, and she was very successful racing as a 2 and a 3-year-old, and then she came up with some injuries. But Meadowbranch bought her then, and we've bred, like, she's been a prolific brood mare. She's retired now. She'll have a home there all her life, but she's treated like the Queen. I like the name.
Well, a lot of people think she was the greatest brood mare ever in the British Isles.
She got a lot of good horses. You know, you could breed it to anything and she get a good horse. You know, we're all different sorts. She bred to everything.
So again, for American viewers, Churchill Queen. You can Google it tonight, folks. Churchill Queen, and look at some of the progeny. And remember, 159 in this country is as good as 152 around the Meadowlands, or maybe 151. Isn't that right, John?
Would be fair, something similar, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you make of the current breeding program, John? There's some decent horses in the country alongside these three superstars, isn't there?
Yes, we've also been breeding from Sweet Lou and Always Be Mickey, and again, they're like top horses in America, and they have 2-year-olds on the ground this year. Sweet Lou has, and I think Always Be Mickey's might be just fouls, getting just this year they're only fouls. So we have 2 or 3 seasons of Sweet Lou now as well. So should be a lot of nice horses by this in the coming years.
Have you any sweet loose stock?
Yes, we have two 2-year-olds, 3 yearlings, and I think we have 2 fowls this year.
That makes 7. That makes 7. How many of them have the white blaze?
1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, I think.
5 out of 7. He stops them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Four have it. Sorry, four has, yeah. And we've an hours with Mickey filly this year as well. Yeah, we've a filly by hours with Mickey and a colt by Bettenline. We bought the American fowl in America.
You and I are old enough to remember rough gated, ill-mannered, difficult to break 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds in this country. It must be a pleasure to work with these, as we call them here, purebred yanks.
Yeah, the breed is so advanced these days from years ago. Even it's just they're easily to train. They're more athletic and just better horses.
You should know we had Anthony Horn on these podcasts last week, and Anthony says that you're one of the few people still alive who drove in the soft hats. The silk hat. Anthony Horn says that you started your driving career driving a silk hat before the hard hats, before the helmets.
So he used to watch me what he did.
Oh, did he? Right.
He was standing watching me on the sideline.
Anthony says you drove in the high wheel sulkies. So, as I say, but John, we're almost out of time. Do you want to give? I must ask you. I have to pressurise you here. You've been 20 or 22, 23 times champion driver in Ireland. This year it might be your crown might be slipping. Is it? There's a bit of competition this year.
Yeah, Patrick Kane is well ahead, and in fairness to Patrick, he's top class driver, and he's been knocking on the door for a few years now. I think this will be his year.
It could be now. He's a strong book of horses, John. I often think it's like a soccer match. That you have a strong squad.
Yeah, you need a good stable horse, and he's got a few nice young horses there this year as well.
He has the strength and depth.
And fair play to them. Them boys work hard at the job. They train. They get stuck in. They're good workers there.
They go to every dance, don't they? All the meetings.
Yeah, definitely.
They have a lorry load of horses at every meeting.
Yeah. And they get to deserve because they work hard for it.
Yeah, well, as I say, it's sporting of you to say so. But I don't know. I'm a bookmaker. I would have a sneaky few pound on you maybe to produce something in August, or you've always been known to produce something in August or September to run off 7 or 8 wins, John. Yeah?
I don't know. It's been a slow start this year, but we have some horses there that will be coming out racing. We've had a few niggly problems, so hopefully later on the year, hopefully we'll finish better than we started, but it'll be what it'll be then.
So you might have an ace up your sleeve.
You wouldn't know.
Yeah. Well, just before we go, I must ask you about a horse I'm very fond of myself. He's a lovely style of a horse, and he had a great season 2 years ago. Maxi Collins is French trotter. Besame Mucho. He's been off the map for a few weeks. Where's Besame Mucho these days?
I hope the race will be about 4 weeks' time, all being well. He had some issues with his back, and he had to have a kind of a bit of an operation on his back, and there's some work done. And he's coming back slowly but surely. So I had him at the track on Saturday. So I think 4 weeks' time he should be back racing. Hopefully, all fingers crossed.
If you can get him right, John, he's a class act.
He's a nice horse. Yeah, he's a good-looking horse, and he goes good.
No, he's a class act if you can get him right. Well, look, one last thing. I've had leading drivers from the States and leading drivers from Canada on these podcasts. So I suppose I'll ask you what I asked them all as we go. Have you any advice for anybody young trying to get up the ladder? You've helped Charlie Flanagan get started. You've helped Johnny Cowden get started. You helped Noli Ryan, and years ago Don DeLargy and Trevor Larkins. You've helped a lot of young drivers. Just give us a couple of sentences of advice to somebody wanting to get on the ladder in harness racing.
I was telling them, work hard and listen. You never know too much. I always take someone's opinion on board, and but you have to work hard, put the work in.
Seems to be a common denominator. A lot of the successful drivers talk about listening a lot.
Yeah, well, you have to listen. Down the day and hour all down is the day you give up.
That's right, yeah. And the man that, what's the Irish saying, the man that never made a mistake never made anything. Isn't that right?
Correct.
An old saying. But John, it's a
We're all learning. We're still learning every day is a school day, Dan.
Still learning, and like myself. Well, listen, as I say, John, it's very, very good of you to give us up your time from your wife and three grown-up daughters there in Swords tonight. And I wish you good luck this weekend. And I just hope that your winners are not heavily backed. Okay.
No problem. I'll tell them to go handy on you.
Bye-bye for now, John. Thank you.